What's up, YouTube? Tops85401 here. Sunday night, live here in the man cave. If you got kids watching this show, guys, might not be a kid-friendly show because I'm live. And I've been told in the past after I posted live videos, people are saying, Nate, why are you using profanity? So if you got kids and you're watching this archived, earmuffs, or just don't watch it while your kids are around. So I'm gonna keep it real here tonight, go live style. Just figured I'd hop in. I saw the votes for the 2019 Hall of Fame class. So what's up, everybody? Eric and everybody, Daniel, what up, everybody? And I wanted to talk a little bit about the votes. I thought it was interesting. Also, wow, a lot of people are hopping in here, all the way from Cuba. What's up, Chino? Man, I wish I had a stogie, man. We could like kick back and have stogies together. What's up, Brian? Man, everybody from on the East Coast, I swear, when I go late live, I get more people on the East Coast than the West Coast. You East Coasters like to stay up late. So, want to get your guys' thoughts on the 2019 Hall of Fame. Okay, so Brian wants to know, yeah, we need to talk about the Hall of Fame, and we'll get into that a little bit later. I don't know how many of you guys know who was voted in by the Era Committee or the Veterans Committee or whatever the heck committee you want to call it. 2 guys got voted into the Hall of Fame. No managers, no executives, 2 players. I was a little bit surprised that none of the managers got voted in. I was pleased that George Steinbrenner didn't get voted in. Just because he was the owner of the Yankees doesn't mean that he's a Hall of Fame owner. Let's just put it that way. Anyways, so those are my thoughts on the executives and managers as far as them. I mean, I didn't really care if the managers got in, really, but what's up, Sean? So Sean says it doesn't make any sense. Yes, the Hall of Fame doesn't make any sense. So I'm going to get started here, guys. I'll save Lee Smith for later, but I want to talk about 2 guys that, one guy that didn't get in the Hall of Fame that I think absolutely deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, and a guy that got in the Hall of Fame that just don't think he's a Hall of Famer. So let me get started. So Harold Baines was voted into the Hall of Fame. He had a 22-year career. He had over 2,800 career hits, over 1,600 RBIs. He put up some pretty damn impressive numbers. And then like career-wise, yeah, he had some pretty damn impressive numbers. But he played 22 years. So yeah, he didn't get injured. He was consistent. He played real well. But I watched Harold Baines pretty much his entire career. And I can tell you, when I watched Harold Baines play baseball, it never occurred to me that I was watching a Hall of Famer at any point in his career. And here we are, December 2018, and he gets the nod from the Veterans Committee. And the Veterans Committee, these are people that saw him play during his career, are very familiar with who he was, his contributions to the game. So, I mean, I don't know everything there is to know about baseball. I'm not saying that I do. I'm just saying I don't agree with their decision. And what surprises me is Albert Belle didn't get voted into the Hall of Fame. Now, when I was watching Albert Belle in the prime of his career, I can tell you guys, bar none, I thought I was watching a Hall of Famer. I was watching someone that completely dominated the sport. Albert Belle, for about a 3-year period, was the best player in baseball. 3 years. He was the premier, the best player in baseball. I know a lot of people don't remember him. Maybe younger people don't remember who he was. He kind of got blacklisted from the game a little bit because of his, he's linked to PEDs, and he had a really, he was kind of like, I guess, the player that's currently playing that you could compare him to as far as like attitude and, media, like the way the media felt about him would be like a Manny Machado. And I know everybody's down on Manny Machado, or like a Machado or a Yasiel Puig or someone like that, just kind of a difficult person in the game of baseball, but boy, he was one dominant baseball player. In my opinion, Albert Belle is a Hall of Famer, no doubt. And Harold Baines isn't. But you know what? What do I know? What do I know? I'm a fan. That's my opinion. That's not what happened. I have to respect the people that voted. I did get a chance to, I can't remember exactly who was on the panel, but it certainly was, you know, these are people that I respect that were in the panel, the people that made the decision. So, you know, I mean, I know Will Clark was on the ballot. I knew he wasn't going to get in the Hall of Fame. Will Clark is not a Hall of Famer. So I agree with that. And then who are the other position players? My mind's drawing a blank right now. But man, yeah, I really wish Albert Belle would have gotten in. Hey, what's up, Jason? How you doing? Snoop, what's up? And so anyways, so if you guys want to hear my thoughts on the Albert Belle and Harold Baines, you're just hopping in now. Probably will end up archiving this. It looks like I got a pretty decent internet feed tonight, so I should be able to hang out here pretty good tonight. So, hey, glad to hear things are good, Mr. Fisher Bike. Anyway, I think this broadcast is actually coming out pretty good here with my new iPhone 10. Yes, my new iPhone 10 is looking good, baby. So, okay, so the other player I wanted to talk about that got voted in was Lee Smith. Lee Smith is now a Hall of Famer, and that pleased me. I always thought, when I was a kid watching Lee Smith, I always thought Lee Smith was a Hall of Famer. And for whatever reason, the writers didn't vote him in. I don't know why. He couldn't get the nod from the writers, but his first opportunity on the ERA committee, he's in the Hall of Fame. I'm very, very, very pleased to see Lee Smith in the Hall of Fame. I was watching MLB tonight, and they did it. They showed like a statistic on how many 4-out plus saves Lee Smith had. He had 169 4-out plus saves. There are 3 people in the history of baseball that have more saves of 4 outs or more, and they're all in the Hall of Fame. And then Dan Quisenberry was the 4th guy on the list. He had 164 out saves. I don't think he's ever going to be a Hall of Famer. The great closer, the submariner for the Kansas City Royals. However, Quisenberry was a great player as well, a great closer. But he's not, you know, he's not a Hall of Famer. So Lee Smith, congratulations to him. I'm very pleased to see him get in. Can you guys see me? Am I back? Am I back, guys? I came up closer to my router. Okay. All right, I should be back. Hopefully. All right. All right, let's see what happens. I might set my camera up in my living room for whatever reason. That I just don't get the best internet in the man cave, unfortunately. I'd love to go live down there for like hours on end, but it prevents me. All right, let's see if the internet holds up. Guys, if it does crap out on me again, I think I will set up in my living room. So anyways, hopefully you guys understand my thoughts. I'd like to get your thoughts. We could have a little bit of a conversation. And so I know Snoop, you're in the room here, and I know you've been scooping up all those Lee Smith graded rookie cards with anticipation that he would get voted in. You and I pretty much agreed that he was going to get the nod, so that was cool. I completely forgot about the vote today, guys. That's crazy. I came home from work and somebody messaged me on Facebook talking about Harold Baines getting in, and I'm like, oh, that's right, today. So I can't believe I forgot about it. But I guess I have to laugh. I guess I got to move some cards around, right? The way I got my binders set up here, I'll show you guys. I got to move some of the players out of the retired stars binder. You know how it is when you got to move stuff around because people get voted in the Hall of Fame, or they retire, or they achieve, 500 homers or 3,000 hits or whatever. So anyway, So hopefully everything's clear down here. They're putting everybody in the Hall of Fame that had a 1990 scorecard. Boy, you know what? How many Hall of Famers are now part of the 1990 score set? That would be interesting to see how many Hall of Famers are in that set. But you got to remember, more people are going to get voted into the Hall of Fame as the years go on, just because there's more teams in baseball. There's more players in baseball. You know, when you compare to like the 50s and 60s, there was only 16 teams. And then, of course, now it's grown to, what, 30 teams, I guess, in Major League Baseball. So almost twice as many teams now as there were in the 50s. So, what's up, Mr. I Collect Ichiro? Oh. Jose Uribe. Yeah, he's definitely a Hall of Famer. He has a $750,000 baseball card. I still don't know. Well, actually, I've concluded that that card has to do with money laundering. So you guys got to check out Snoop's video about the Jose Uribe card. I always get a kick out of that video. So, Mariano Rivera is getting in first ballot. I 100% agree. He will get in first ballot. What's up, Ray? How you doing, buddy? Like I say, everybody from the East Coast loves staying up late and going live on YouTube. Yeah. So, Ray from Philly, what are your thoughts on the new inductees in the Hall of Fame? I anticipate that you will be doing some kind of video at some point with your thoughts, and I will be eagerly awaiting your thoughts on it. I already gave my thoughts earlier, but I guess I could rehash my thoughts at some point later on, as long as my live feed can stay here. So, Pete Rose, Alan Trammell, which one is a Hall of Famer? Well, the Hall of Famer there at Come Up an Egg is Alan Trammell. Okay, so wait, I want to see what Ray had to say here. I didn't quite catch that. Oh, come on, put it back up. Okay. Yeah, I think Ray, you and I are probably on the same page. You totally agree on Lee Smith. So, I mean, he was pretty much a no-brainer. I'm surprised the writers didn't vote him in. I'm surprised it took this long for him to get into the Hall of Fame. So, somebody's asking about Lance Berkman. He's no way he's a Hall of Fame. So, for Lee Smith. So we got someone excited. Yeah. Yep, Lee Smith indeed retire as the all-time save leader. And I was talking about it earlier. He had 169 career saves of 4 outs or more. 4 outs or more. That's a lot. I don't know if anybody on here can do some research and comment in the comment section, but I am very curious to know who threw more innings in their career, Lee Smith or Mariano Rivera. If someone could look that up on Google real quick. I have a hunch Lee Smith may have thrown more innings than Mariano Rivera, even though Rivera, had a significant more saves in his career. And I'm not saying Rivera doesn't deserve to be a first ballot Hall of Famer either. He absolutely does. Okay, we got people sarcastically saying, I believe that's a sarcastic statement, saying Todd Helton, you want Todd Helton to be a Hall of Famer. I don't know but I mean, Baines. Here's the thing about Harold Baines. Like, look, I'm gonna use an analogy like a collection, right? Baines has, like, he's like a guy. Like, if you were to look at Baines, he would be like a collector that has a lot of $10 and under cards, but a huge collection, right? It's like just just a lot because he played so long. He played 22 seasons. I think Baines is probably the only player that's not a catcher that played 22 seasons that's in the Hall of Fame and does not have 3,000 hits. I mean, who plays 22 seasons and doesn't have 3,000 hits? To get 3,000 hits, if you play 20 seasons, that's 150 hits a year, okay? So any ball player can get 150 hits in a season. Anybody. So Harold Baines had 2 more seasons. So if he would have averaged 150 hits a year, he would have had 2,300 career hits. He didn't even have 2,900 career hits. So his hit total is just an accumulation. It's not anything that he did as like a dominant player at any specific time in his career. I mean, he was always real good. He's a great asset to a team. He never hurt anybody being on their roster. Great designated hitter, but he's just, in my opinion, he's just not a Hall of Famer. And I think a lot of people, a lot of baseball people, I have a hunch they're just really gonna like look at this and be like, well, I don't know. I don't know. So, what up, Michael? So does it open the door? It might open the door for Johnny Damon. It might open the door for Bernie Williams. I mean, there's all kinds of players that Harold Baines getting in the Hall of Fame opens a door for. I could think of 1,000 players that were, not 1,000, you guys know what I mean. I could think of a lot of players that were equally as good as Harold Baines. I mean, he just played 22 years. He was good for 22 years. He was great for 0 years. So, I mean, well, Jeff Kent won an MVP. Jeff Kent has some of the best statistics as a second baseman of all time. He'll probably get in under I don't think the writers are ever going to vote Kent in. He's never going to get the writers will never vote Kent in, but I think that the era committee will certainly put him in. There's no doubt about that. So that's kind of my thoughts on Kent. He's going to have to be an era committee guy. But yeah, I mean, absolutely Kent should be in. He's kind of a victim of the era that he played in for more than one reason. I mean, you had a lot of home run production. You had, is this an offensive era? But I don't think people factor in that he was a second baseman. I don't think he was the best defensive second baseman. Maybe if he was a Gold Glove caliber second baseman, he'd be in when you factor in his offensive numbers. But anyway, so that's kind of my thoughts on Kent. When Kent retired, I put Kent in my Hall of Fame binder. Didn't think twice about it. Now he's been on the ballot for how many years, and he hasn't even broke the 20% barrier, or if he has not broken the 30% barrier with the writers' vote, which is jaw-droppingly just shocking. That's the only way I could describe it. Jaw-droppingly shocking. Yeah. And same with like McGriff, Kent, all those guys. So to get 12 to get in. I mean, it's a 75% vote, and I don't know. I mean, like the way that the vote was presented, I saw a guy saying that the 16-panel committee met today, they discussed it today, and they voted on it today. So it's almost like a jury deliberation. Like everybody presents their thoughts, and then you got to try to get 75% of the people to agree. And I mean, obviously, a jury is a unanimous decision, but on the Hall of Fame, you only need 75%. But yeah, I mean, it just depends on the 16 guys in the room, and it's a combination of players and executives and whatnot. But still, yeah, it's definitely interesting. It's a crapshoot, You could flip a coin, and one year somebody would get in no problem, and the next year they wouldn't sniff getting in. So it is interesting how this era committee is doing it. But just like with any era, people are going to be upset about people that get in and don't get in. Well, I think here's the deal. I think Harold Baines got in not so much because he's a Hall of Famer, but because people want Edgar Martinez to get in the Hall of Fame, and they can't put Edgar Martinez in the Hall of Fame if Harold Baines isn't. So it's almost like, well, I guess it does open the door. It is a door-opening vote so that people can say, well, Harold Baines is in the Hall of Fame. Of course, Edgar Martinez is a Hall of Famer. But you got to set that precedent with a player that played before Edgar Martinez to make a case, you know, so they put Harold Baines in to make a case for Edgar Martinez. Now there's no doubt in my mind Edgar Martinez is going to get in the Hall of Fame. The guy's a Hall of Famer now. That's a wrap. With Baines getting in today, that's a wrap. Martinez is in. And again, just like with Harold Baines, I watched Edgar Martinez play. I never looked at him and thought, now that's a Hall of Famer. So, but I would say that he did have more of an impactful career than Harold Baines. I think that he was a better player than Harold Baines, Edgar Martinez, in my opinion. I think I would definitely think of him more as a Hall of Famer than Harold Baines. I mean, Baines played on the A's. I remember when he was on the A's, and I just remember, oh, okay, that's a nice player for the A's. I didn't think, oh, crap, we got a huge future Hall of Famer here on the A's. All right. But, of course, a lot of guys at the end of their career that end up being Hall of Famers, you know, I mean, Gary Carter played for the Giants. Who cares? I don't even remember Gary Carter playing for the Giants, you know. Who else? You know, so guys kind of float around at the end of their career if they play an extra year or two beyond when they should have retired. So the Beckett list of the new minor league stars will be the Hall of Famers. Hey, what's up, Ground Chuck? AKA Kyle, how you doing, buddy? Do I think Michael Young has a shot at the Hall? Not if it's my vote, he doesn't. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think he has a shot with the way things are going. Absolutely. Michael Young is another player. That guy had a really, 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 really nice career. He's a good ball player, a solid ball player. But man, he's not a Hall of Famer. I mean, he hit 300 for the majority of his career and everything. But damn, man. I mean, come on. You got to draw the line somewhere. I mean, Jesus. You ask most people that started collecting in 2010 or after, and you ask them, do you know who Michael Young is? I bet you 1% of those people are going to even know who Michael Young is. Yeah, I know you're a big Baines collector. So I thought about you, Kyle. Actually, when I saw the vote, I'm like, well, Kyle will be happy. Fred McGriff is a Hall of Famer. He was dominant, guys. I mean, Fred McGriff, there were a few years in his career where he was a top-tier baseball player, where everything he did was relevant. Yeah, I didn't think Harold Baines would either. I mean, I know people want to talk about Dale Murphy, but let's face it, he ain't a Hall of Famer, guys. I mean, he won 2 MVPs back-to-back, and he dominated the National League for a couple of years, but he's just not a Hall of Famer. So, I mean, yeah, I guess he's just, I think that his contribution to the card collecting hobby is so great because he is such a great person that us collectors want Dale Murphy to be in the Hall of Fame. He's one of the greatest people in the hobby. Everything I've ever heard about Dale Murphy is A+ person, man. Just a great person, but just a tad bit, just not quite a Hall of Famer, you know. So Brian wants to know when the standards for the Hall of Fame voting went down. You know, I think it's just the evolution of Hall of Fame voting, Brian, to be honest. I mean, people just sit around and, you know, one player sets precedent that gets in that probably wouldn't normally get in. That opens the door for a whole bunch of other players, and then the notch goes down a little bit more because then another guy kind of sneaks in, sets a little bit of a precedent, and then you know, it's just going to keep going. It's just, I think it's just a natural evolution of humanity that all these players get in. Especially look at today's society. Look at today's society where if you're like, let's say you're an 8-year-old kid, right, and you're playing sports, everybody gets a trophy. Everybody's a winner. There are no losers, right? So we're living in a world where people don't know how to lose. And when you don't know how to lose, you don't know how to win. And then you got all these people and all this stuff, and just the way society is now, everybody's part of the club, right? Everybody's great. Everybody's great. Everybody's great. So I don't know. I think it's just how our society has evolved. It's just like anything else. I mean, things change, you know. The Hall of Fame vote is never going to be like it was in the 80s where you got people like McCovey getting voted in, you know. I mean, now you're getting people like, I don't know who, but anyways. Let me see what people are saying here. I'm just reading your guys' comments. Yeah, Alan Trammell, I mean, who would have thought he'd be a Hall of Famer, right? Players played 99% of the games this season. Pitchers started 40 games. Yeah, I mean, well, you can't really compare, like, pitchers as far as starting 40 games simply because mathematically they can't now. The game's changed. So, but the 7+ inning thing, definitely. I mean, that could play. Pitchers could definitely still do that. I think pitchers, you don't see them pitching 7+ innings because there's too much of an investment in their arm. Teams can't afford to lose a $150 million contract for an inning here or there, you know? So, yeah, like Ray from Philly says, like Oprah Winfrey, you win a car, and you win a car, and you win a car. We all win a car, right? I got snowflakes. Where are my snow? Maybe I don't understand what you mean by snowflakes. Let's see here. Hopefully, okay, there we go. Oh, I hate snowflakes. Okay, that's what it says. Snow. Yeah, well, you know, if you don't deserve a trophy, you shouldn't get one. So, like, go back 15, 20 years and look at the Hall of Fame. Then go at today's. Yes, the Hall of Fame was much different back then. Not in my book. We got. Okay, collector cheer. Okay, those back pages. Okay, everyone's saying hi. Hey guys, hi everybody, hi. Welcome on here, guys. Well, we got 32 people in the room, so I guess I'm being somewhat entertaining tonight. So, Hernandez, Mattingly, Nettles are going to get in. I don't think Mattingly is ever going to get in the Hall of Fame. He's not a Hall of Famer. Greg Nettles, he's not a Hall of Famer. Hernandez, I'm assuming you're talking about Keith Hernandez. Out of those 3 players, the only one I would put in would be Keith Hernandez. He was a co-MVP in '79, and he was a Gold Glove caliber player, but he was a first baseman. Offensively, you want to see a little bit more from a first baseman. So you know what? I retract my vote for Keith Hernandez. None of them get in. All right. So, let's see. Snoop's in the house. Okay, we got... I collect Ichiro, a.k.a. Ray. All right. So, hey, guys. Well, all your favorite hits. Okay. Let's see. We got Brian in the house. Those back pages. Got Kyle Groundchuck. So, DeSemic. So, I'm laid up with... Oh, man. Well, I hope your knee gets better, man. Damn. So anyways, guys, so that's my thought on some of those players about getting in the Hall of Fame. Let me see what else you guys are saying here. Okay, so I'll tell you why everybody wants Don Mattingly to get into the Hall of Fame. It's more of, I think, a baseball card collector thing that everybody wants Mattingly to get in the Hall of Fame. And Smitty, what's up, brother? Just hanging here in the man cave. Wish you were sitting right here next to me and we were smoking cigars doing this show. That would be awesome, man. Me and Smitty just chilling with a couple of cigars, bullshitting here on live here on YouTube. But anyways, that's for another day. Someday Smitty will be at my house. We're going to be in my backyard. We're going to be smoking cigars, and we're going to go live with you guys. And that's my rant on my homeboy Smitty. And he says, yeah. So, Smitty, what did you think of the Hall of Fame vote? That's what we've been talking about. And potential future Hall of Famers based on the precedent set by today's vote and players that made it into the Hall of Fame. Cuban Collector, come on down, man. We need that the Florida love, man. Come smoke a stogie with Smitty and I. You guys can console me or counsel me on a good choice for a casual cigar smoker, and that would be me, the casual cigar smoker. So Bonds, yes, Bonds. Oh, well, here's the deal about Bonds. There are already guys in the Hall of Fame that use PEDs, so no one can use the fact that Bonds used PEDs as an excuse not to put him in the Hall of Fame. And yes, I get people all the time on my channel asking me, Nate, do you think Bonds used steroids? It's like, I'm not a fucking idiot. Of course he did. But that doesn't mean that he's not my favorite player. He's not the best player I've ever seen play the game, and he's not a no-brainer Hall of Famer. That all those things are completely independent of one another. So Mike Piazza used PEDs, and he's in the Hall of Fame, right? So, anyways, that's my thought on that. And Bonds will get in. And I think he's going to get in on his 10th year of eligibility for the writers. Because I'll tell you guys why. A player that will be his first year of eligibility, I think, I did the calculations a few years ago, but the media's favorite PED user is going to be, and this is somebody that is 100% documented. He has a positive test for using PEDs, is David Ortiz. So he's going to be eligible for the Hall of Fame ballot, Bonds second to last year. So on year 9 and 10 that Bonds is on the ballot, Ortiz will be in his first 2 years of eligibility. And the guys, the writers know that they can never, ever, ever, ever vote David Ortiz into the Hall of Fame unless Barry Bonds is in the Hall of Fame. And the writers are certainly going to put him in the Hall of Fame because I never hear a single media, anybody from the media shit on David Ortiz. Never once has he got shat on. Everybody loves Ortiz, and for good reason. Ortiz is a great guy. He was a great ball player. He was a Hall of Fame ball player. He absolutely dominated his era. He dominated the postseason, and he needs to be in the Hall of Fame. Okay? So if he needs to be in the Hall of Fame, you can't put him in without putting Bonds in the Hall of Fame. And guys, if you're watching this and if you're paying attention, and I say that because I understand not everybody watching this is paying attention. Because I watch live feeds all the time. People go live on YouTube, and I'm not always paying attention to what people are saying. But if you are paying attention to me, when you're either done watching me or whatever you want, or whenever, when this is over, go onto YouTube and watch Bonds hit. Just type in on YouTube, Barry Bonds, Eric Gagne, and watch that at-bat. You tell me Bonds ain't a Hall of Famer, okay? You tell me that that's not the most exciting at-bat you've ever watched. Or you could do a combination of any at-bats, but Barry Bonds' elbow would be over home plate. Someone would try to bust in on his hands, and he would get his arms fully extended and pull the ball over the fence. Gagne threw a 101-mile-per-hour fastball against Bonds, and he pulled it foul into the water, into the bay. And then the next pitch, he hit into the bay. That, I'm telling you guys, you got to watch that at-bat. And you tell me that guy, he's got to be in the Hall of Fame. Best ball player I've ever seen. It was just such a beautiful thing to watch that guy hit. So that's my thoughts on Bonds in the Hall of Fame for tonight. If you guys watch me enough, you know I have all kinds of thoughts on it. But just the most exciting player. That guy, I have to take heart medication when I watch him play. He was so damn exciting. So, okay, someone... All right, guys, you know how I get. I can't stand it when people... Well, let me read the comment first before I get started on here. Okay. Okay. So let me just say this. All right. So every time there's a conversation about Barry Bonds not being in the Hall of Fame, someone always says, well, you have to put Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame before you can put Barry Bonds in the Hall of Fame. Hey, look, I understand where you're coming from, but here's the problem. Here's the problem. The writers don't have an option. They don't have the option to put Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame. He's not on the ballot. So you can't, you can't, it doesn't, that doesn't make any sense to say that if Pete Rose isn't in the Hall of Fame, Barry Bonds shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. You cannot make that comparison. Okay? And even if, so in order for Pete Rose to get in the Hall of Fame, two things have to happen. Not just one. For Barry Bonds to get in the Hall of Fame, one thing needs to happen, and that is the writers need to vote him in. Okay, guys? But for Pete Rose to get in the Hall of Fame, whole different thing. Because if he becomes eligible to be voted into the Hall of Fame, that doesn't mean he'll be a Hall of Famer. Okay? That just means that he's eligible to be on the ballot to be voted into the Hall of Fame. So I guess what I'm saying is, let's say Pete Rose does become eligible, and he's eligible to be on the ballot, and he doesn't get voted in. Then you could make the comparison that if Pete Rose isn't in the Hall of Fame, Bonds shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. But until that happens, please understand that you can't make those comparisons. It drives me nuts when people make that comparison. Anyways, that's enough on my rant on the Pete Rose, Barry Bonds Hall of Fame situation. Yes, he did get banned, and that's the problem. That's exactly my point. That's exactly my point. He's not eligible. It's not up to the writers. They have no say. Every single writer could want to put Rose in the Hall of Fame, and it doesn't matter. He's not going to get in the Hall of Fame. So, it's no Hall. Okay, so Ben, and I agree. Well, I agree that McGriff is a Hall of Famer. That's for sure. But I don't agree that it's no Hall of Fame without McGriff. But of course, McGriff is your guy, just like Bonds is my guy. So, Ben, you and I both were in the same boat. Our homies aren't in the Hall of Fame. So, oh, shit. I know you're just having fun. We're all having a good time, man. Okay, so JVP Baseball wants to know if Harold Baines and Lee Smith cards are going to go up in value because they got inducted into the Hall, or they got voted into the Hall of Fame. And of course the cards are going to go up in value. So, I mean, that's just simple humanity and economics. So, you know, we are in a bandwagon hobby, guys. Yeah, I agree with you, Ray. Bonds is the best player I've seen in my lifetime as well. But okay, so let me finish my thought on this bandwagon hobby. The card collecting hobby, we love all of us collectors were bandwagon. You know, we always hop on the bandwagon. What's up, Bob? How you doing, buddy? Good to see you in here. So, hey, when you get a chance, if you're gonna stick around, guys, a legendary YouTuber, Bob, aka Super 25 Sports Cards, is in here. Real glad to see him. And I got a question because Bob has, I value his opinion very, very, very much. He knows more about baseball than anybody in here, I would assume, at this point in his life. But I want to get your thoughts on today's Hall of Fame vote. So, just in case you missed it, I feel that Lee Smith deserves it. I feel that Harold Baines doesn't. And I feel that Albert Belle should have got voted in. Those are my thoughts in a nutshell. I'm not going to go into detail. But if you're still hanging out, I would love to hear your thoughts, Mr. Super 25 Sports Cards. So ground check, are you saying you could pick up Harold Baines and Lee Smith autos for under $5? So, and those back pages are saying, oh, Joe, yeah, Albert Belle, you're calling him Joey, I love it. Yeah, Albert Bell's never getting in because of his strained relationship with the media and his alleged steroid use, which I believe he was a PED user. But boy, he was dominant. He was dominant for a few years. He really was the best player in baseball. Well, I don't know. Yeah. So, okay, so Bob says, I'm with you on Lee Smith. I agree that Baines is a reach. Albert Belle is a bad baseball guy with MLB and Writers Association. He will never get in. Bob, that's exactly my thoughts as far as his personality-wise. He screwed himself. I wonder if he had a good relationship with the media, like a David Ortiz or someone like that. If he could have gotten in the Hall of Fame. Okay, that's a great question, Kyle. He wants to know, would I be pro Baines if he had gotten 3,000 hits? Absolutely. For whatever reason, that particular milestone, I think that you should be a Hall of Famer, but he didn't. That just shows you how hard it is to get 3,000 hits. Harold Baines was in the league for 22 years, and he did not get 3,000 hits. Again, guys, I was talking earlier, to get 3,000 hits, if you play a 20-year career, you have to average 150 hits a year for 20 years. Harold Baines played 22 years. He did not get 3,000 hits, okay? So, anyway, yeah, I mean, it's hard to get 3,000 hits. That's all there is to it. 46 all-time on career hits. Yeah, well, how many, okay, so Harold Baines is 46th career all-time on career hits. Where does he rank on career at-bats? Where does he rank on career games? Or seasons, for that matter, right, among position players? So, sure, I mean, you play 22 seasons, you better damn well be at least in the top 50 in career hits. I mean, that's 22 seasons, man. And he's a DH, too. A DH, he doesn't have to play the field. He's going to play he's going to hit every day. He's not going to have a nagging injury with his wrist or a sore knee or something like that. You know, I mean, he can play every day. So, anyway. Yeah, DHs should have a much higher standard to get into the Hall of Fame. Well, Bob, earlier I was telling you, or I was talking, I don't know if you were on here, but I think that you know, part of the reason why Baines got in today is because everybody knows that Edgar Martinez is going to get in the Hall of Fame. And so it's almost like setting precedent. Well, if Edgar Martinez is going to get in, Harold Baines has to get in. You know, it's just like one of those things, you know. I really think that's what happened. And the Edgar Martinez Hall of Fame thing is, to me, it's just interesting because I think that if he wasn't such a beloved ball player, if he didn't have such a good relationship with the media, if there wasn't a campaign to get him voted into the Hall of Fame, if there wasn't a trend, you know, pointing to Edgar Martinez being a Hall of Famer, I don't think that Harold Baines would be in the Hall of Fame. I would have loved to sit in that room today on that 16-panel committee and listen to their reasoning for voting Baines in. And I bet you $1 million, the thought process is, look, we know that Edgar Martinez is going to get voted in. And if he's a Hall of Famer, Harold Baines is a Hall of Famer, we have no choice. I bet you they almost felt like they were backed into a corner and they almost had to vote him in. So Buck O'Neil, absolutely. Buck O'Neil, why is he not in the Hall of Fame? I don't know. His contribution to the game, not only as a player, but as a historian, I mean, come on, put that dude in the Hall of Fame. Yeah. If you were to ask me right now, and I didn't know if I knew the players, how I know them, and someone say, Nate, is Buck O'Neil in the Hall of Fame? I would say yes. If I didn't know, who was in the Hall of Fame, I only knew about the players. Sure, well, of course he's in the Hall of Fame. He's a Hall of Famer. Nope, not a Hall. Minnie Minoso, too. That's another guy that should be in the Hall of Fame. But now we're talking about guys that should be in, right? Instead of guys that shouldn't be in. Okay, so here's a good question. I mean, this is a good question because it's one that's fun for me to talk about. So JVP Baseball says, let me get back to his question. If Bonds and Ortiz get in, do you think McGuire, Canseco, Palmeiro, and Clemens will get in? Okay, first of all, if the year Bonds gets in, Clemens is getting in. Okay, so that's done. I'm done answering about Clemens. But Palmeiro, McGuire, and who is the other one? Canseco. Okay, Canseco's never getting in the Hall of Fame. All right. McGuire, he was on an era committee ballot already. He got shot down. Maybe in 10 years, maybe he could get in. I don't know. I don't think so. And then who is the third guy you're asking about? You asked about Palmeiro is, even though he's got 500 homers and 3,000 hits, Palmeiro is never getting in the Hall of Fame. Palmeiro, in my opinion, is one of those guys that probably benefited from PEDs more than most players. I mean, like, I don't know, like someone like Bonds, I mean, he's a Hall of Famer before he even touched the stuff. Had he retired in 98, the year McGuire and Sosa broke the record, and before he ever even tried PEDs, and he had to retire in 1998, he was a Hall of Famer at that point, right then and there. So everything he did post-98 was icing on the cake, and that's obviously when he used PEDs. But Palmeiro, I really think that he's one of those guys that, anyway, he's never getting in. It's just that whole trial when he pointed at the camera. I remember watching that live too, and I was convinced. There's no fucking way Palmeiro did this. Oh boy, was I wrong. So no way Palmeiro gets in. No way Canseco gets in. And I would say that out of those three players, McGuire has a very minute shred of hope. And I would love to see McGuire get in. His home run per at-bat ratio is better than any player in the history of baseball. The problem with McGuire is in the early to mid-90s, he was a nobody. He was injured all the time. He had heel issues. He didn't play. There was like 3 or 4 seasons where he was basically an injured nobody. And then, and then 96 and 97, he started to get better. And then, of course, all of the years in St. Louis, he was awesome. Okay, so Ben wants to know, is Sammy Sosa for the Hall of Fame? Okay, he's just not getting in. Sosa he's just never going to be a Hall of Famer. And I hate to say it because Sosa deserves, in my opinion, he would have my vote. Him and McGuire both. What they did in 1998 was so instrumental in growing the sport of baseball, okay? And I've talked about this before. I'll talk about it a little again. So Major League Baseball was in trouble after that strike, okay? And then the summer of 1998 came around, and all of a sudden there's this home run race, and people want to talk about Roger Maris in 1961, and can this record be broken? And at first it's like, McGuire, can you break the record? And then people start getting into it. And I remember Griffey was in the conversation early on in the year, and then by the All-Star break, the whole country was completely captivated by the potential for this wonderful historic record, the home run, the single season home run record. Is it going to get beaten? And then every day, you run to the newspaper stands, you open the newspaper, you read the articles. Who hit a home run today? How many home runs did they hit? And pretty soon, everybody's talking about the home run race of 1998. What a wonderful summer. I remember Sammy Sosa in June that year. I believe it was in June of 1998. Hit over 20 home runs. Guy was just cranking them out. Unbelievable summer. And baseball went from the brink of death to the most beloved America's pastime in the snap of a finger. And who do you have? Who facilitated that rebirth of baseball? Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa. And in the background, Bud Selig, by the way, who's in the Hall of Fame. Now, why do I say Bud Selig in the background helped facilitate this? Because he knew what was going on. Bud Selig knew that Big Mac and Sosa and all these other guys are taking PEDs. And you know what he said? When the door was closed and he's sitting there talking to the boys in the good old network, okay? The good old boys network, when they were sitting behind closed doors, you know what they were saying? Boy, let's let this Sosa and McGwire bring baseball back. And this is making me look great. I look like I'm a genius because the sport's growing under my leadership, right? So anyways, Sosa and McGwire both go on to break Roger Maris's record, which nobody would have ever anticipated at the beginning of the 1998 season. As a matter of fact, Sammy Sosa at one point was the single season home run king. And I say this, you guys might be wondering, what the hell are you talking about, Nate? But Sosa actually surpassed McGwire after McGwire hit after he passed up Roger Maris. Sosa then passed McGwire, and for about 3 hours one afternoon in the summer of 1998, Sammy Sosa had broken the all-time single-season home run record. Of course, the season wasn't over because Sosa ended up with 66 homers for that season. McGwire ended up with 70 being hit off of the great Carl Pavano. Anyways, and so the season, of course, ended up with Sosa and McGwire both breaking the record. But even Sosa had a piece of that single-season home run record, if not for a few hours, on an afternoon in September of 1998. So, yes, I think Sosa and McGwire both should be in the Hall of Fame. Unfortunately, neither one of them are getting in, even though Bud Selig is in. And that's the guy that ultimately facilitated the whole thing. He engineered the whole thing. He knew these guys were doing steroids. He welcomed them. Why? Because baseball needed it. People want to see home runs. People want to see excitement. People want to see the ball fly out of the ballpark. Man, Wrigley Field, what a venue to break a home run record, guys. Think about it. Wrigley Field, man, the ball landing on Sheffield Avenue. You got people across the streets with the rooftop seating, watching these ball games, right? What a wonderful advertisement for the sport of baseball. Having Sheffield and Wayland Avenue and everybody watching these guys slug it out, and of course Busch Stadium, you know, and you know one of the hearts in the heartland of the United States in St. Louis. I mean, St. Louis fans are great fans. They're great baseball fans. So yeah, man. They should be in the Hall of Fame, damn it. Put them in! Put them in! I hope MLB watches this video, even though they probably won't. I'm flattering myself. They're not going to watch this video. So, guys, what are your thoughts? I'm done with my 1998 rant. So, Bryce to White Sox. Smitty, you think Bryce is going to end up with the White Sox? Yeah. Yes. I don't see Harper going to the White Sox, but I haven't really been paying attention to where. Oh, thanks, Kyle. I had fun doing that rant, so that was fun. Anyways. Where do you? I mean, I don't see Harper going to the White Sox. I mean, I know everybody from Philadelphia thinks Harper's going to go to Philly. You know, it's been my experience that the big free agent, where everybody thinks the big free agent's going to go, that's not where they're going to end up. So and just based on historical you know, on what's happened in the past, I really don't think that Harper will end up in Philadelphia just because that's kind of the front runner city for him to go to. Let me see if I can find you guys', okay. Juicing. Yes, Ray says the whole MLB office knew those guys were juicing. That's why I get mad that Selig's in the Hall of Fame. How about the Mark Jackson 1990 Hoops card? I'm not familiar with the Mark Jackson. Here's the deal, guys. When it comes to any other sport than baseball and collecting cards, I don't know anything. So that's why I don't know anything about a Mark Jackson 1990 Hoops card. Okay, so somebody thinks that Harper's going to Philly. Somebody thinks that set is ass. They must be talking about the 1990 Hoop set. Jay thinks that he's going to St. Louis. Harper to St. Louis, I'm guessing. And then, yes, he knew about it. Okay, I'm assuming they're talking about Bud Selig and the Royd chase. Okay, Ground Chuck. Yeah, Kyle, I know you made a video today. I haven't had a chance to watch it, but you are always on my list of must-watch YouTube videos. I will be watching your YouTube video when I get a chance. So, but thanks for the preview on what to expect. I'm looking forward to the video. So, will Palmeiro come and play back at the age of 50? I'm assuming that's a dumb question. Fuck no. Right on, Kyle. Yeah, no problem, bud. So, I mean, unless he plays for like a minor league ball, you know, plays in a minor league team or something like that. All right, Brian, I'm not sure what that they murdered their parents and are serving lifetime sentences. Okay, I'm not. You must be talking with someone else. Julio Franco, Smitty. I know he's playing minor league ball. That guy's got to be pushing 70 years old, man. You know, Julio Franco, his first baseball card was a 1983 Topps Traded, and that guy had a card in 2007, a 2007 Topps card. Now, and he didn't get 3,000 hits. He ain't a Hall of Famer. So what the fuck is up with Harold Baines, baby? I just don't get it. Anyways, but Julio Franco is a hell of a ball player, man. Yeah, the guy, hey, anybody that's playing, okay, so Julio Franco in 97 was 49 years old. That means he's 60 years old and he's still playing minor league ball. Yes, if you're playing competitive baseball at the age of 60, you damn well right you love the ball, you love to play. It was funny, I don't know how many of you guys saw the video last weekend when I got to meet up with Jose Canseco down in Concord, but that dude literally walked into the signing with a duffel bag full of baseball equipment. And someone, I thought it was shit he was going to sign, that he brought to sign. No, that's not why Canseco walked into that card show with baseball equipment. Canseco walked into that card show with baseball equipment, and mind you, I think he's about 52 years old, if my calculations are correct, 52, 53, something like that. Homeboy walked in because he was going to play softball after the signing. So that dude loves to play baseball. So you had to spend enough on the Topps website to get there. So yeah, I guess Julio was an 83 Donruss as well. What was that, Smitty? What was it? Going to hit his fingers. So, hey, what's up, Joey from Cali? So, hey, by the way, I saw your video. You want to get advice on your graded cards, and I'd say keep them. Don't waste your money resubmitting them. That's my thoughts in a nutshell. Don't send them in. You got other stuff you can grade where you get more value out of it than regrading something that you already have graded. especially because you have that autograph collection that's just incredible. Use that money that you would spend to reslab those cards on getting some autographs authenticated, man. Don't waste your money reslabbing them, dude. The Topps 582 Montgomery. I don't know what that is, Snoop. A Topps 582 Montgomery baseball cards. I don't know what the heck that is. Huh. Bowman Colors. Vintage forever. Yeah, you guys know Joey. Joey's a Hall of Fame YouTuber. That's for damn sure. So, talk about the Mark Jackson card on your next Around the Hobby. Okay, so there must be something going on with the Mark Jackson card that I don't know about. But Snoop, as you guys know, he's not just baseball cards. He's around the entire hobby. So he's definitely the guy to ask about a card that's not baseball cards. Snoop will tell you all about it. And if you don't believe me, check out his channel, Snoop12922, and you got to check out his videos around the hobby. Excellent stuff, man. Snoop is onto something, man. I'm telling you, 10 years from now, he won't even have to drive trucks for a living. He can just do his YouTube thing. Fake autos on. Yeah, Smitty, I will. You know what, Smitty? I'll tell you what. We'll do it. And Snoop, we'll get on a conference call one time. We'll talk about it with you. I got plenty of time at work, guys. I can get on conference calls. I could talk to you guys all day while I'm at work. I don't know how many of you guys saw my video from this morning, but I was trying to like pump myself up, you know, to have a good day at work. I worked 8 hours, saw 0 customers, but I was pumped up the whole time. I actually had 2 YouTubers ask, "Hey, man, I'm ready to buy a bed, Nate." So who knows? Maybe I got to start making YouTube videos to sell beds. I don't know. A lovely day. You got that right, baby. Fucking Bill Withers, man. That guy's awesome. You want to talk about a smooth motherfucker? Pop on some Bill Withers when you're in the mood to just fucking chill, man. That guy's just smooth as a motherfucker. Oh, here I am dropping all kinds of F-bombs. I did do a disclaimer, though, at the beginning of this video, so there shouldn't be any kids watching. And, all right, Bob. Well, thanks so much for hopping in and giving your thoughts on the Era Committee Hall of Fame vote. I always respect your opinion, and hope to talk to you soon, my brother. And happy travels. Enjoy all the scouting in this off season, and all that good stuff. Yeah, there are. Yeah. So what's he? All right. More. Oh, okay. You guys are talking about, yeah, of course the Gaudis. Yeah, who knows how many of those BS autos there are nowadays, or now after that whole scam. Joey from Cali. Oh. Anything else you guys want to bullshit about? Who all's in here now? I mean, a lot of awesome YouTubers in here. I appreciate everybody hopping on with me tonight, man. It's been fun with you guys. We got such an awesome community on here, man. I can't thank everybody enough for being part of this community. So thank you guys, man. So, I mean, I see people like Jason, a.k.a. Zombie Collector. That guy goes live every night. And I got to tell you guys, it takes a lot of energy to go live on one of here. So I got to tip my hat to him, man. He keeps it going. So, fraudulent collectors need to be exposed. Of course, yep. You know one thing about that I love about this hobby, I think we do a great job policing ourselves, man. Like true hobbyists, we'll put these idiots in check, and it's good that we're able to do that. It's good that we look out for each other, and now the information travels so fast, and the access to information, like the digital footprint on some of those vintage cards where they saw the before and after photo of the card with the fake autograph. I think, hey, it's great. It's great that we have access to that kind of information now, you know. Just makes it that much easier to police the hobby. I got to tell you guys, me being a Bonds collector, I see a shit ton of buyback autos of Barry Bonds that are completely fake. Fake, 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 fake. If you ever see an like a card that's encapsulated and it has that hologram sticker and it's a buyback auto of Barry Bonds from like Bowman, like I think of like the 2004 buybacks, 95% of those are fake. And I see them on eBay all the time, and they sell anywhere between 30 and 80 bucks all day long, 7 days a week. And I feel sorry for all these people out there that just don't know that what they're buying is fake, because it's just so easy to just assume, hey, it's encapsulated, it's got the hologram sticker on the back, it's got the hologram sticker on the front, and it must be real. But you know what? They're not. They're not. The ones that are authentic, first, it's a really crappy, like fake autograph of Bonds. I mean, you know, like someone take a glance. Oh, sure, that's Bonds auto. If you take a glance and you're not familiar with his auto, sure, it looks like his auto, right? But then if you scrutinize it, nowhere near his auto. That's the first problem. Second, on any Bonds autograph post 2004, it has to have his sticker. Let me pull a card out. I'll show you what the sticker looks like. So let me show you guys, because I got people always asking me about this kind of stuff. Let me see here. Okay, I think this one. Okay. So see, let's see if I can get it to show. This sticker right here is the Barry Bonds sticker, and basically it says 25, and it has like a dual silhouette of Barry Bonds. I don't know if it'll show up here or not, but it has to have this sticker. If it doesn't, Bonds didn't sign it, guys. So the fake ones only have one sticker. See, like the back of this card has 3 stickers. It requires all 3 of these stickers to fully authenticate the Barry Bonds autograph. And the buybacks that you see only have 1 sticker, and it looks like this. And what people do is they somehow take the adhesive off the sticker that's on the card that the sticker was originally on and put it on the card with the fake autograph. And then, of course, they're able to get that that hologram off the the encapsulated card and reuse that hologram as well. And that's how they fool people. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of that stuff going on. Joey, I will send you a link to an eBay auction with a fake Bonds auto if you want. Or anybody, I mean, if you guys want me to send you a link to one, just let me know. And just, you know, text message me or hit me up on Facebook. I'll send you a link. Because I know there's a lot of guys in here that keep saying, well, I want to get a Bonds auto, but I haven't got around to it. Oh, dude, Max, I can't wait to see your big video you got planned. Oh, your whole auto collection. Very nice. Huh. Snoop, that's good. Snoop, you should put that on your Around the Hobby. Well, unless, I think he might have done that actually a long time ago, but eBay will pay $10 and we'll look at any eBay auction and let. So I'll read what Snoop just said. He says, on eBay for $10, PSA will look at the authentication and give you an opinion on your, or you can call some friends and have them look it up. So I guess if you give PSA $10, they will, they'll let you know if an eBay auction auto is legit or not. That's pretty cool service. And Kyle, I saw your text. I will send you a link to the fake Bonds auto cards. So, and that's a great question. How do you pay for that service? So that's a great question, asked by Brian. Yeah, Kyle, before you pick up a Bonds auto, consult with me first, because there's a lot of fakes out there. I am an expert on his autograph, I have bought cards many a times that weren't authenticated, and I know that they were real. And I passed up on a lot of cards that I know that were fake. I can spot a Baines auto from a mile away. Oh, man. So, okay, you did do a video on it. All right, Snoop. You should probably make a short 1-minute video and tell everybody, you know, and put a link to the video that you did. Maybe. I don't know. So JVP wants to know, am I going to archive this video on YouTube? I think this has been a pretty entertaining live feed, so I probably will go ahead and archive it. Especially because I was smart enough to do the child disclaimer before I went live, so no one could get mad at me if I'm using profanity and their kids happen to be watching. Yes, okay, so, yes, I am using a lot of profanity when I initially went live. Just so you know, I put a disclaimer before I got started. So no kids' ears will be harmed if, because, but with this being archived, everybody will watch the very beginning and they'll know that there is potential for profanity. So I've covered my bases. I've learned a little. I've been doing this a while. So I know that people like to watch my live videos. Sometimes they watch them with their kids and they don't appreciate it when I use curse words in the event that their kids are watching. So, what's up, Scott? How you doing, buddy? So, anyways, anything else you guys want to chat about? I've been on here for 72 minutes. All right, my internet for the win. It's held up for 72 minutes with exception of that 2-minute or so blackout that I had. Right on. Yeah, I'm going to archive this, so if you missed most of it, you can go back and watch. Talked about all kinds of things, including the 2019 Era Committee Hall of Fame vote. So, Joey, my kids, I'm not a famous YouTuber, Joey. However, within the card collecting community, I would say that I'm well known, but you would have to like be a household name, I would think, to be famous. So, okay, so Max, okay. This is something I didn't know about. I'm going to repeat what Max just typed in. So, have you heard that the Giants may be the top choice for the top Japanese pitcher that is coming over to the MLB? That is wonderful news, and I would think that San Francisco would be a great choice for someone from Japan to come over to San Francisco, just because, A, we share the Pacific Ocean with Japan, and 2, that is a pitcher's ballpark. And coming and switching leagues, every advantage you can get would be awesome. And the Giants got money, and they know how to pitch. They know how to, the Giants are really good with the pitching stuff, and I would think that working with Buster Posey would be great. So that's exciting, man. I'm glad to hear that. Now, Max, I don't know anything about this pitcher. Nothing about him. So I can't really comment on anything about him, but it is exciting to know that one of the top pitchers from Japan is interested in coming to the Giants. I would love to see that. So that would be awesome, man. Yeah, I love how you know, I love that. I would say the last 10 years or so, seems like 1 or 2 of the top players from Japan are coming to the Major League Baseball, and a lot of times those players are really good. All right, so we got another question here. Do you agree when McCutchen got traded from the Giants last year? Well, I mean, I can't agree or disagree with that. I mean, he did get traded. However, I really don't understand the question. I think McCutchen benefited from leaving. Look, here's the thing about McCutchen in San Francisco. McCutchen's a great ball player. McCutchen can hit home runs, but McCutchen doesn't have, like, he's not a power home run hitter. He's a hitter that can hit home runs. So when you're a hitter that can hit home runs, you're not going to hit a lot of home runs in San Francisco, if that's your ballpark. But when you go to New York, right, the Yankees, that ballpark, man, that's like a bandbox compared to San Francisco. So McCutchen could play a complete season in San Francisco, and if he hits 15 home runs, that's a lot. That's a lot for McCutchen playing in the National League West out of San Francisco. But you put him in the American League East and put him in a Yankee uniform, he's probably going to hit double. He will literally hit double the amount of home runs playing in the AL East as a Yankee than he will in the NL West as a Giant. That's just the way it is. That's just a fact. There's only a few ball players right now where the ballpark, where San Francisco isn't really going to hurt him. Bryce Harper being one of them. That's why I would love to see him come to the Giants if the Giants are able to afford him, you know. But McCutchen, you put him in a bandbox ballpark, he's gonna hit 30 home runs, you know. But not in a ballpark like AT&T. Oh, okay, right on. All right, guys. So Snoop did put the PSA eBay quick option story on Around the Hobby at episode 3 at 9 minutes and 53 seconds. So if you guys go on to Snoop12922's channel, you go on to his Around the Hobby episode 3 at 9 minutes and 53 seconds. He will that will explain everything you need to know about the PSAs and about PSA's service, looking at the eBay auctions and letting you know their opinion on whether the item is authentic or not. And then Brian has a question. Nate, how do you feel about the guy who has 5,000 1986 Topps Traded Bonds cards? That is a great question, Brian. And I've seen all kinds of people talk about it. That guy actually joined my Barry Bonds collectors group. And I first saw the article on Collectors Daily or whatever that group is on Facebook. And that guy is a maniac. A maniac. 5,000. Guys, if you guys aren't aware, there is a collector out there that has 5,000 copies of this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful baseball card. 5,000 copies. And to get into it a little more, he has purchased over the last 10 years or whatever it was. You can watch Snoop's video. He'll tell you more about it on Around the Hobby. But he bought 70 cases of 1986 Topps Traded looking for the bonds. The guy that has 5,000 of these, not only does he have 5,000 of these, but from what I can tell, they're all graded, and majority of them are graded by BGS. I think he submitted most of them to BGS. Whew. Now, guys, listen. I love hoarding 80s rookie cards. Love it. Every time I get my hands on an 80s key rookie card, it's coming in. Come join me. Come in my box. Right? I welcome all of them. But man, 5,000 of one card, that is determination. That dude really, really, really loves that card. And you know what he's going to do with that collection, guys? Snoop, you can't give it away. And anybody that watched Around the Hobby or read the article, I'm sure you know. But I'm just going to let it fester until someone comments what this guy's going to do with his 5,000 1986 Topps Traded Barry Bonds baseball cards. And Snoop, thank you for not giving it away. 5,000 of these guys. You know what he's going to do with them? He he definitely has a plan in it, and they're not going in his coffin. I don't think they make a coffin big enough because these are graded copies, not raw copies. No, he's not going to burn them. Nope, not burning them. But Brian, yeah, it's a pretty amazing collection. I got to tip my hat to, yep, Jesse got it. He's going to decorate his house with these 5,000 cards. So that's a house I got to go visit. Hey, if I'm ever in the area, I got to check it out, man. Got to check it out. So, man, yeah, that's an impressive collection. There's a guy on Facebook, and I think I'm not really part of the group anymore. I used to be, but it's this group called Baseball Collectors Keeping It Real or some shit like that. I can't remember exactly what it's called. But there's a nutcase on that group that's got, like, every time he sees a 1983 Topps Wade Boggs card, he picks it up. This guy's got hundreds and hundreds of them, but most of them are raw. So he has definitely been outdone by the 86 Topps traded Barry Bonds collector. And I now know why these cards took a significant spike in price a couple of years ago. I don't think you could find any more cases of them out there either. But think about this. The guy bought 70 cases, and there's 100 sets per case, right? So that's 70 times 100. That's like 7,000. So he must have got rid of some of them. I mean, he didn't keep every copy of that card he has. So what's up, Mr. She Blinded Me with... She blinded me with, what is that? What? Huh? What is that? Refractors. Or she blinded me with refractors. So, are you a David Bowie fan by any chance, Mr. She Blinded Me with Refractors? I think that's who sang that song. Great song. I could be wrong, but anyway, every time I see that name, not only do I think of She Blinded Me with Science. Who sang that song? Maybe it wasn't David Bowie. Damn, who the hell sang that song? Anyways, damn, man, I think of that song. And I think of like 90s refractors every time I see that name. So was that a one-hit wonder group? And I'm thinking it was David Bowie. I don't know, guys. You know, this new iPhone 10, the battery is freaking incredible because when I used to go live with my old iPhone, pretty much 20 minutes into it, battery was dead. And I've been here for an hour and 23, 30, almost an hour and a half, and my battery doesn't even show that it's low. So what a difference a new phone makes, huh, guys? That's just kind of a side thought here. Maybe I should plug it in just to see where I'm at, but I'm surprised my battery hasn't died. Jeez. So, Nate, do you have the 95 Bowman's Best Bonds refractor? Yes, I do. Mr. She Blinded Me with Refractors. I have just about every Barry Bonds refractor ever made. And when I say that, I'm talking about Barry Bonds refractors that only has Barry Bonds on it. Not like I don't have the Atomic, the 98 Atomic that has Barry Bonds and who the hell was that on the back? Quentin McCracken or no, it wasn't him. Anyway, that Bowman's Best Fusion one. I mean, there's a few I don't have, but yeah, I got pretty much every Barry Bonds refractor there is, where it just features Bonds, not like a multiple player refractor card. So yeah, man, that card in a PSA 9 is pretty sweet. Mine's not graded. Mine's in raw form, but I do love that card. So what? Okay, so whoops, Snoop. Let me see what you're saying, Snoop. All right, hey Nate, gotta find some 89 Donruss Alex Madrid cards. They are selling on eBay for 20 grand plus. Yes, the good old 89 Donruss Alex Madrid. I'm guessing this is piggybacking off the 1990 Fleer Jose Uribe cards, man. Yeah, and thanks so much for thinking of me on that Bonds refractor, man. Those cards are so beautiful. Those the nine. You just look. There's nothing like the 90s refractors. I mean, the only thing I don't like about 90s refractors is I don't know if you guys are familiar with the term hulking. Like the Incredible Hulk, but some of those older refractors up through 1998, not all the issues, but a lot of them, the refractors will start to fade and turn green. And the best term, I've heard the term greening, but the best term I've heard for it is hulking. And on my 90s page, there's been a lot of research. A lot of people have looked into it. And it has nothing to do with light exposure. It's about moisture. It's for whatever reason, the ink, when it interacts with any with moisture, it turns green. And Topps figured this out after 1998. So that's why you will never see hulking on cards after 1998. And some issues are a lot worse than others. Yeah, the 96 Topps Chrome is horrible. The 98 Topps Chrome is horrible. I've seen it on 1994 Finest, 1994 Bowman's Best. I've seen it on 93 Finest a little bit. So you got to be real careful, man, with the hulking. It really drives me fucking nuts, man. That shit fucking drives me nuts. So that's so it scares me to invest a shit ton of money on some of those beautiful, beautiful, beautiful older 90s refractors because of all that goddamn hulking that you get on those cards. The worst example I have, I bought the, I think it's the Man, the 1998 Finest The Man refractor. And when I bought it, the card was perfect. And that card is like, I've seen a lot of that particular card, I've seen it on a lot of players. That one has real bad hulking issues. And for whatever reason, the 1998 Topps Chrome, the last year that hulking was an issue, it Topps Chrome 98, 97 and 98 Topps Chrome is really bad. So, yeah, let me show you guys my 98 Finest The Man refractor. So I hate looking at that card now, but I'll show you what what hulking looks like. All right, let's see. Fuck is it? That's a pretty bad set too. All right, so here we go. I'll show you guys. This card breaks my heart, man. But I mean, I saw a Ken Griffey Jr. slabbed in a PSA holder, a PSA 10 that had way worse hulking than this, and it sold for like, I don't know, $10,000 or $15,000. So I guess it doesn't hurt. This card still, this is how sensitive the ink was, guys. This card still has a protector on it. But here's my 1998 Finest The Man refractor. And you can see, like, on the uniform, see how it's different? And let me take it out of the bag here. But this one definitely has some hulking issues. Or greening, or whatever you want to call it. But, like, see, part of the uniform is, like, really white, and then part of it isn't. This one isn't too bad, but you can, like, see it right through here. And eventually it's all going to hulk over, you know. But, I mean, it's just production. I mean, I don't think Topps even knew when they were printing the cards originally that this would happen over time. It's like it was a new technology. How are you going to know that that's going to happen? So, but like this, here's like this set is really bad. This might be the worst set of all for hulking. But I mean, every single example of this card of every single player I've ever seen has really bad hulking. See how the uniform is, I don't know, it used to originally not look like this. That's the only way I could describe it. You see it like in the face too. But I got like the borderless variation as well, and it's the exact same issue. Like they both are hulking. But anyways, so for you 90s guys, you're not going to know what the hell I'm talking about, but for people that collected in the 90s, you still got 6 boxes of 86 Topps traded sets. Are they sealed? Man, the 86 Topps traded is one of the best, if not the best traded set of all times for Topps, because you just had so many great ball players. Kind of like the 2011 update and highlights set. Are they Tiffany? Oh, yeah. Are the 86 Topps tradeds Tiffany? Man, it's a great question. And look at how, look, I've had this card in a screw down probably for 20 years. Look at how bad this bag is on it, guys. I'm going to switch it out now while I'm here live with you guys, because it's just, every time I like pull out a card I haven't pulled out in a while, and I got a bag this bad, I got to switch it out. Crisp bag, yeah, for sure. I'll show you guys what I do when I put a new bag. I use these, like, I don't have the one, or the, I use these Ultra Pro team bags for the, for my screw downs and magnetics. I don't have the perfect fit ones, but what I like about perfect fit is they taper the edge of the bag. So now I cut them off like the perfect fit bags, because I don't have perfect fits. And then I put them in, and it just makes it so much better to cut the edges off. Someday I'll probably order some perfect fits, but for now, I don't have them. Ah, it looks so much better in that bag. Even with the hulking, that card looks better. Yeah, and I probably had this card in a screw down since 1998 when it was printed. So there we go. From what I understand, it's moisture, not heat. So although I could be misunderstood, and the reason why I say that is because I've seen people open up packs, sealed packs, in those foil, you know, like how they made them in the foil packaging, and they come right out of the pack with the hulking. So that would kind of make sense that it would be heat and not moisture, because you could have cards sitting in a, you know, 100-degree warehouse. But how does moisture get into a sealed foil pack? I don't know. I've been trying to wrap my brain around that one for a while. Anyway. probably, guys, just so you know, I'm probably going to hop off here just because I've been on for over an hour and a half, and I can't really think of anything else to talk about unless there's one more thing you guys want to talk about. Okay, so here's the deal on the 97 Bowman's Best Atomic Refractors. That's not hulking. That is the color of those cards when they were printed. They've always looked like that since 1997. Does Bonds have a 97 embossed refractor? Absolutely. Would you guys like to see it? Yes, the Atomic Refractors had that green tint to them. They are not those cards are not hulking at all. That's how they were printed. So I've never seen a 97 Bowman's Best that has a hulking issue. All right, she blinded me with refractors. Wants to see. I got both of them. I got the silver and the gold embossed refractors. So I will bust both of them out for your guys' viewing pleasure. I'll be right back. All right, let's find them. Where are they? Aha. Okay. All right, so here they are, guys. All right, so Smitty, what you have is you have the silver embossed refractor of Maguire, which, by the way, you got an absolute steal on. That's this card right here. So this is the embossed refractor, just an absolute beaut, man. I love this card. Let me take it out of the, God, this card is just so beautiful, man. This is just a beautiful card. They do not make cards like this, guys, anymore. These cards are so beautiful. And you can see how the card's embossed, like when I put it at this angle here. A little glare, but you can see the embossed. Yes, they are embossed. And if you think, the front's absolutely gorgeous. They did not disappoint with the back of the card as well. Look at the back. Oh my God, look at the back of that card. Fucking gorgeous, man. So you got the Maguire, Smitty, which, man, the price that you got that card at and when you bought it, I was real excited for. You did really well on that card. But there we go. This card, I don't need an autograph on this card, man. It would take away from the card, in my opinion. This card doesn't need an autograph. This is just 90s at its finest. So we got that's the silver embossed. I'll show you guys a gold embossed here in a second. This one, the edges aren't cut, so I'll go ahead and do that before I get the gold embossed out. All right. I know somebody like 3 years from now is going to be watching this video while they're sorting their cards. And this whole embossed refractor thing might get their attention. So, Mr. 3 years from now, what's up? Hope you're enjoying sorting your cards while watching my embossed refractors. All right, so here we go. All right. I gotta cut these ends off. I'm gonna take it right out of the bag because these cards definitely. All right, here we go. Oh boy, yeah, I get that question a lot. I just got a question. I'll ask and answer the question in a minute about what you put in a. Oh my God, look at that. Hopefully I can get the right angle here. But this is the gold embossed refractor. And this is not a case hit. This is a once in a lifetime hit. If you could pull a Ken Griffey Jr. on one of these, you're looking at About a $15,000 card. That's how sought after these are. There's the back. The same atomic or X-fractor or prism refractor, whatever you, technology, however you want to word it. And yes, it is embossed. There, you can kind of see how it's embossed. Man, this, let me see if I can move my camera to try to give this card some, oh man. Yeah, this camera's just not gonna do it any justice. There's too much glare. Oh man. Anyways, so someone wants to know what this card is worth. I think a PSA 9 on this one sold for like 700 and something bucks not too long ago. I don't know. I don't really know what it would sell for. Now I don't really care. I would never sell it. Even if the card was selling for 10 grand, I would never sell it. So it doesn't really matter what it's worth because it's never leaving my collection. So, okay, so the BGS 9.5 embossed Griffey sold for 4 grand. Was it a was that Griffey? Was it a true gem, or did it have a 9 subgrade on it? Because a lot of times with like BGS, man, those subgrades make a huge difference on what the cards sell for. If it has like a 9, like if it's a Gem Mint 9.5 BGS and it has a 9 as a subgrade at all, it ain't a real, it's not really a Gem Mint card, because a company like PSA would never grade it a Gem Mint. 3 9s and a 9. Yeah, see, if that card would have been like all 9 5s and maybe even a 10 mixed in there, it would sell for a lot more than 4 grand. Or if it was a PSA 10, it would sell for a lot more than 4 grand if it was a Griffey. Griffey's kind of exponentially more expensive than any of the other players from the 90s. I don't know how many silvers were produced, and the speculation is the golds are 25 to 30 produced. So somewhere in there, 25 to 30 golds, maybe 100 silvers, I'm not sure. But yeah, probably the best looking refractors of all time. If there's any other refractors you guys want to see, I'll bust them out, because if it's Bonds, I got it. Unless it's like a red Bowman numbered to 5. I don't have all those. 96 mirror gold. I don't have the 96 mirror gold, man. That card on Bonds is going to run you about 2 grand, the 96 mirror gold. Those things are expensive. Maybe 1,000, 1 to 2. I don't know. It's just going to run more money than I'm willing to spend on one card for Bonds. At least for a 90s insert card. The Knob 1 of 1. Yes, I do have that card. I don't know. I'm sure everybody's seen that card by now. I've shown it a lot. It is a cool card. But I'm in the mood for refractors tonight, if someone wants to show. All right, Smitty, have a good evening, buddy. Thanks for hopping on tonight. All right, you guys want to see that bat knob card? Any refractors with lightning bolts? Damn. You know, I know there's some Fleer Ultra with lightning bolts that have a hint of the refractor technology. They call them the, what do they call that insert set? I can't think of it right now. My mind's drawing a blank. But tops are oh man, yeah, I don't think there's any tops refractors with a lightning bolt that I can think of. Let me put these away. I'll be right back. Actually, here, I'll bring the phone with me so you guys can see my box while I'm... Here I am. I got the camera pointed right at my fucking crotch, and I'm saying, if you want to see my box. Anyways, I can't believe I just went there. But this is this is my box that has all my Barry Bonds refractors. And if you're wondering what this is I always put these in my boxes just to kind of help with the moisture. But anyways, yeah, I got all my refractors in here. So, I think the bat knob card, there it is. There she lie. Arr, 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 arr. So that's a cool card. So, there we go. Got that one in here. And what else? Guys, I can't see your comments because I have the camera pointed away from me. But, man, that's another great one there. The Atomic 94. Can we see this here? 94. Oh, that's a great card. This card, you'll see this one get some hulking on it too. Unfortunately, I've seen those before. This one already has it, the 95 Finest. Right in here I have some. But I don't know. I've seen that one's pretty common. All right. These are just all refractors, though. Like this whole box pretty much is Bonds refractors or autographs. That's it. So anyway, I'll put this stuff away later, though. There we go. Remember that set? Whoa, those cards are cool. Anyway. All right, so let me see what you guys are talking about. I couldn't see any of the comments, so I was kind of hanging out in there. So, okay, purple. Yeah, the lightning bolt with the purple. That's a Fleer Ultra card. And that is Thunderclap is the name of that card. Okay, that's what it's called, the Thunderclap. And I do have that card. Fleer 1988 cards. Okay, so somebody wants to know if a box of Fleer 1988 cards have any value. And they have a lot of value when it comes to having a good time collecting cards, but monetarily they're not worth anything. And then let me see, knob card. Okay, yes, everyone loves that bat knob card. That is any bat knob card is always a fun card for a collection. Cards that you like. So someone wants to know what's another one of my more unique and rare Bonds cards. I got a lot of them. I'm not exactly so. Have you ever sell a bond? If I have, so I would sell a Bonds card if I had a double of a really expensive one. Determine what cards you put in magnetics. Okay, Thunderclap. I got yes. Ground check, Kyle. Yes, it was the Thunderclap. That's that lightning card that I was trying to remember the name of the set. And there are a few Thunderclaps. Love those 2016 Transcendence. Yeah, those things are awesome, man. And then, so somebody has the Kirby Puckett Thunderclap. The Semic has the Kirby Puckett Thunderclap. Yeah, those are great cards, man. I do love that set. The purple one is a lot tougher to find, for sure. And then, of course, the gold medallion one is almost impossible to find. All right, anything else you guys want to do? I don't know how many, I mean, it says there's 27 people on here, but, so you're going to go to, well, if you want to see what the Thunderclap cards look like, I got all my bond, I don't even know where to, I could probably try, well, I don't know if it's in my box or my binder, my Thunderclap ones. I don't have any of the gold medallion ones, unfortunately. Got to pick those up. Those things tend to run about 60 or 100 bucks for Bonzo. They're pretty expensive, so. Snoop! Do I think the Giants should trade Mad Bum? Fuck no, but I'm not a Giants executive. I really don't want to see him trade Mad Bum. 1997 Fleer Ultra. That sounds about right for the Thunderclap. All right, you guys want to see the Thunderclap card. You keep talking about it. I'm going to check in. this box here. All right, so I got a whole, these are all high-end Bonds inserts that are not Topps brand or Panini. And if I have the Thunderclap insert card that everyone keeps asking about, I'll show it to you. So the first time I saw that set Thunderclap, you guys will never guess what the first thought that went into my head when I saw that. What is it? Fleer Ultra. Okay. When I saw the name of that set, I was thinking about a real fat lady and her thighs were clapping when she walked. Thunderclap. Why was I thinking that? I'm a twisted motherfucker sometimes. Totally not card related, but thought I'd share that story. And so I thought it was funny. Like, I'm sitting here on eBay and I see a card called a Thunderclap. I'm sitting there cracking up. Okay, so here we go. Here it is. I do have it in this box. Man, I need to get those perfect fit sleeves because I got a lot of debris in here. Man, that card just, ugh. Man, they're going to ruin my card, man. That's why you want perfect fit sleeves so you don't get debris in your top loader. Here we go. There she is, the Thunderclap. That is a nice shiny card, man. Nice and shiny. Shiny. Guys, just so you know, these cards do typically sell pretty well, but they're not rare. Just so you know, they are not rare. They're not tough to find. You can pretty much go on eBay anytime you want, and whatever player you collect, this card will most likely be available for sale. I do not have the medallion, no. I would love to get the medallion. However, this is one of my favorites from Fleer Ultra. The hitting machines, if you guys want to talk Fleer Ultra inserts, and I do have the gold medallion of this one. God damn, this is a beautiful card. Oh, what a beauty. So, somebody was asking me earlier, how do I determine whether I put a card in a top loader, a magnetic, or whatever, and like if it's numbered like the 250 or less, I like to at least put them in a top loader. If it's a refractor, I like to at least put them in a top loader. If it's a die cut, I typically like to put them in a top loader, especially when it's like a real complicated die cut where the cards are real fragile. Oh man, I know you guys will like this one if you like Fleer Ultra inserts. This is just a beauty. Typically, cards have a book value of $20 or more, or cards that if I had to replace them, I'd have to spend $10 or more. I'm going to put in a top loader. You know, like base cards, you know, ones that you can pick up for less than $1 or $1, just like real easy to find cards. Cards that I don't even care if they get ruined, I'll put them in a binder. There's just a lot of cards that they're so basic, they're easy to find, they're so cheap that even if I have a crappy copy of it, I'm not going to bother to upgrade it, but I do like to have an example in my binder. So stuff like that. But like, you know, die cuts like this, you know, I'm not going to put in a binder. I'll put that in a top loader. This is my favorite Hot Gloves card, by the way, guys. That's a great die cut card right there. So that's kind of the the rule of thumb. I don't always stick to that. Sometimes I'll have $30 cards in my binder and a $2 card in a top loader. I don't know. I don't really have an exact science about it. But that's kind of a, like this card here isn't that expensive, you know. I mean, I could probably pick one up for under $5, but because it's a die cut, I put it in a top loader. if that makes sense. And you know, like this particular card here, I had this one in my binder for up until maybe a month ago. I finally took it out of my binder, and that's because it's numbered to 250. I just don't want to risk it getting ruined. So because it has a print run of 250, it's rare enough to where it would just be, it would be a bummer if it got ruined in a binder. You know, I guess so cards that I'm really worried about getting ruined, I just don't like to have them in binders. All right, man. All right, Kyle, well, have a good night. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite. That's kind of the best way I could answer that question for you guys. Anything, yeah, so like stuff like this, these kind of die cut cards here. I don't know what they book for, but they're all going to end up in top loaders. Probably most of these aren't $20 cards, but because they're die cut, you know, they're gonna go in a top loader. I don't know what you mean by show you some wax. I don't really collect wax. I don't open wax, so I don't have any wax to show, I guess is what I'm saying. Yeah, I don't know how many of you guys are familiar with that new channel where the guy collects the Oakland A's. But he had a great video earlier today where he's showing off his Prism cards from 99 and 2000. But these, I'm telling you, Pacific Prism was way ahead of their time when they were printing these cards. Right there. Look at this one here. Man, I could stare at this one all day. So, anyways, he's got a great channel, and yeah, Oakland A's 915. I really like his channel, man. He has a pretty good pulse on the card collecting hobby. He's kind of a beginning collector, or I would call him more of an intermediate collector, but I think he's going to learn real fast about the 90s stuff because he's a McGuire collector, and I think he will learn pretty quickly about the 90s stuff. So, but Donruss had overall the best stuff from the 90s besides Topps, because they used a lot of die cuts and they had a lot of fun numbering. Like they'd kind of make it like a Easter egg hunt for the numbered cards. For example, this card here, you see it's serial numbered to 4,000, but the first 250 copies, I believe, were die cut. Like this. So, in order to really have, I mean, even though, like this one here, the same numbering, right? But anything after 250 wasn't die cut. It looks like that. So, I don't know, Donruss kind of made it fun, right? So, you really had to understand what you were holding in your hand. They did that the year before, too, with this card here, the die cut and the non-die cut version. But anyways, those are cool. Oh, anyway, guys. That box is getting heavy. The Matrix stuff is confusing. Yes, it is. I agree. You definitely have to do your homework on the Matrix cards. Yep, the first 250 are die cut. And that's a 97s. On the 96s, the first 500 are die cut. And then the rest of them are not. So it depends on the year. And not every player was numbered to 4,000 on the 97s. So guys, I'm gonna get off here. It's starting to get late. I'm tired of talking. And you're probably tired of listening. But I will end this live feed with a cool card. Let me find a cool card to show you guys, and I'll end it with this one, and then we'll call it a night. So I'm gonna end it with this card right here, Molten Metal Fusion Gold, and there you go. So guys, until next time, thanks for joining me. Thanks for hanging out, and as always, Happy collecting!